Building max strength without losing flexibility requires a different structure. At a certain level, you've built enough range. Now the objective is max strength and hypertrophy. But drop flexibility completely and you regress. Push it too hard and strength stalls or you get injured. After living through this for over 20 years and learning the hard way, I believe there are 3 ways to combine strength and flexibility. And only one makes sense when strength is the priority. In this video, I'll show you how to structure strength and flexibility pairing in the same workout so you build muscle and strength at the highest level without losing your range or sabotaging your recovery. The problem at this stage is ego. You've already built enough mobility to perform well, but you keep chasing more while also pushing heavy strength work. High-level flexibility and maximal strength both demand recovery. Run them at full speed together and something gives. Either your progress stalls or you get injured. My brother Yanni learned this lesson the hard way. It was February 2024. By that stage, he had already built a really high level of flexibility. He could sit comfortably in an arse-to-grass bodyweight squat for as long as he wanted. No shaking, no falling over, no ankle collapse. He could hold a barbell overhead in that deep squat and press it behind his head without restriction. For us, that's the benchmark. You've got the shoulder mobility, thoracic extension, hip mobility, and ankle range most athletes will ever need. But he didn't stop, because once you hit that level, you often start chasing the impressive stuff. Deeper pancakes, flatter middle splits, those last few inches that look insane on camera. And here's the truth. Those last few inches cost a lot. They demand a level of load and intensity that most people don't appreciate. At the same time, Yanni was pushing maximal strength, heavy lifting, hypertrophy phases, and progressive overload. He was trying to run both at full speed. And that's where he made the mistake. One day at the gym, he was doing loaded pancake work with a 20 kilogram, 44 pound plate on his back. He'd already trained heavy that week, so his hamstrings were fatigued, his nervous system was fatigued, but he pushed because he wanted that extra range, and bang, hamstring tear. Not a tweak, not tightness, a proper tear. And just like that, his whole year of training was derailed. He couldn't deadlift, he couldn't squat properly, couldn't load lower body strength, and it took about 6 months before he could confidently load a pancake or middle split again without feeling like it was going to rip. 6 months! For what? To gain range he didn't need. He already had everything required for performance, for calisthenics, for lifting, for sport. The only thing he was chasing was the kind of flexibility that looks impressive on social media. And it came at a real cost. That's when we had to have an honest conversation. Once you've achieved a high enough level of mobility to support your sport and your strength training, pushing flexibility at an elite level comes with trade-offs. Because strength and muscle hypertrophy demand recovery, and so does high-level flexibility. Trying to maximize both at the same time isn't brave, it's reckless. Now, our priority is clear. Once you've hit those foundational benchmarks, strength becomes the main goal, 90 to 95% of the focus. Flexibility becomes maintenance and refinement, because as long as you train strength through full range and keep mobility in your warm-ups, you'll maintain almost everything you built. In fact, today Yanni and I do very little direct flexibility work compared to our peak, and we've maintained around 90% of our range. It's like riding a bike. You don't need to keep pushing to the edge to keep the capacity. And that's the real lesson. Chasing extreme range when strength is the priority doesn't make you better, it just increases risk. Now, this is where the structure changes. At this stage in our training, both Yanni and I are chasing performance. I'm working towards higher level calisthenic skills. Yanni is building muscle and preparing for high rocks. The goal is maximal strength and hypertrophy when we're in the gym. And that changes everything. If you're doing heavy sets of 3, 2, or even 1 rep, you need to be fresh to produce force. And the moment you add any meaningful load between sets, even if it's lower body flexibility during an upper body session, you're still adding stress to the system. Loaded stretching, end range contractions, high tension mobility work, all of that taxes the nervous system. And if the nervous system is taxed, your next strength set suffers. So at this stage, all of our flexibility work becomes passive. The pairing rule stays the same, so upper body strength paired with lower body flexibility, lower body strength paired with upper body flexibility, but now stretching is quiet, controlled, and non-fatiguing. For example, if I'm doing dips paired with pull-ups, after my set of dips, I might drop into a passive pancake. I go to my available end range and hold it for 30 seconds. But I'm not contracting hard. I'm not chasing new range aggressively. I'm maintaining what I've built and gently nudging it forward. After my set of pull-ups, I might do a couch stretch. Just sit into it, breathe, and let the hip flexors open. No grinding. And if I want to bias my adductors, I might use a very gentle loaded butterfly stretch, but light enough that it doesn't create fatigue. The key principle is this: flexibility work must not interfere with force production. Because in a true strength phase, we're using advanced overload methods. In the UMS, that might be the 1-5 method. It might be wave loading, 5 reps, then 3 reps, then 2 reps at high intensity. It might be a hypertrophy block with heavy supersets or drop sets that absolutely fry you. Those sessions demand real recovery. If you compromise that recovery, you compromise adaptation. So when strength is the priority, flexibility becomes maintenance. It protects your range, it preserves joint health, it keeps your movement clean, but it never competes with your ability to produce force. And that's the distinction. Earlier in your journey, flexibility might need to be chased hard. At this stage, it needs to be respected but controlled. Now, something we do in all 3 methods of pairing strength and flexibility, no matter the priority, is maintain structural balance. We always train push and pull in the same workout. We balance left and right sides. We train outer unit prime movers like the pecs, deltoids, lats, biceps and triceps, alongside inner unit stabilizers like the rotator cuff. Across the week, we balance upper and lower body, and of course, we balance strength and flexibility in every workout. That structure never changes, and it's why we've rebuilt so many people who thought their stiffness, injuries, or lack of progress were due to age. If you want to see what it's like to work with me inside the UMS online coaching, you can click or tap the screen here to watch that next video, and I'll see you in that video.